Hello, this tech shop is going to be on Microsoft Forms. Microsoft Forms is one of the tools we use in our Office 365 system. And um, it's a very simple tool just to create forms and surveys, even quizzes. And I just wanted to show you all this so you can see what that looks like and how quickly you can get that started. So the first thing I'm going to do is share my screen. And then we're going to go to the main Shepherd site. Hopefully everyone can see that. On our main Shepherd site at the very top, we click on email. And that's going to take us to our Office 365 system. And that's where you would log in and use your Shepherd username and your Shepherd password. And once you get in there, you're going to have all these little icons on the left. They look very familiar. You have Word, Excel, PowerPoint, these types of things. You'll see some extra listed here. If you don't see them, you can always go up here and hit create, or no, I'm sorry, down here to find all apps and find forms. Since I've used it before, you can also go up here to the waffle and pick forms this way. Since I've used it before, it's already listed here for me. I have Sway, I have Teams, other things, but I'm just going to go to the forms area. Now, I've been creating lots of forms just to test. There's lots of different ones you can choose from that I've done here. Basically, the first thing you want to do is either do you want to create a quiz or a form. And just for testing purposes, we're going to choose new form. It takes you to a new site on the Office 365 system. So it is not a separate file like a Word or PowerPoint type document. It's saved inside of the cloud of Office 365. So it starts out here. You can create a title for your form. And let's just call it a survey. And here you can also add a picture. Let's see here. I made one on a tech survey. I'm just going to go ahead and do that again. Tech survey, tech shop survey. I can add a description here. I can also add a picture. Just click insert picture. You can add one from your computer itself or from your OneDrive, or it lets you search Bing, which is Microsoft search engine. Let's see, I can just type in tech, and then I will hit search and see what pops up. It's going to have all the images are from the Creative Commons, so you don't have to worry about any type of licensing issues with those. Let's just pick this nice one here. And then you click add. And just give it a few seconds here to load. And now you'll have a little image here for your survey. You can also delete it here, change alternate text for different readers, for screen readers, that type of thing. Let's go ahead and just put tech for our alternate text. And this is what you'll see for your survey. And let's say this looks a little blank here. You kind of want to maybe spice it up, make it look a little better. If you click theme, you can change the background to a different color, or you can add a different type of picture. There are other ones listed under customize. You can add your own or your image. Let's say I'm just going to pick, how about pick the sky. There we go. Add some color to it for a tech shop. Now let's check out the different quiz or the different questions you can pick for your survey. You just click add new. It's that simple. So you can choose a multiple choice, just a text one, ratings, date. There's all kinds of different ones here. There's a Likert scale, and it shows you can have the different ups and downs. You can pick like the more than likely, probably not, those types of things. If you have a certain survey you want to do, if you want to upload a file for certain reasons. We did find if you do upload a file for a survey that you have to be part of the Microsoft system. It can't be an anonymous because the file needs somewhere to be saved. That's why that option is there though. You can have a ranking. Let me show you what the choice one looks like first. We just click choice and add our question in here. Which tech shop did you attend? And again, it gives us options here. We can add a picture, insert different media. If we have another question that we're copying as we go along here, if we have multiple of the same one, that type of thing. Okay, let's see here. Teams. And sometimes if you have certain questions and it's trying to give you, it can give you some pointers here, which is pretty nice. If we have one on forums. And let's see, we're going to have another question. Let's say we did one on OneNote. And if you want to add another option, which is very handy, you can click this here and it lets them write in their option. So now let's take a look and see what that would look like. Let's see here. If we hit preview, this is what your question will look like. Which tech shop did you attend? And you can click on the different one. If you hit other, it lets you write in the answer you want. Now you're probably also wondering what this little icon is here. If we click this, that opens up a new screen to the immersive reader. It's also for accessibility, which is a great feature. If we click play here.
1. Which tech shop did you attend? Teams. Forms. OneNote. End of question. Close the reader to input your answer.
So hopefully you're able to hear that. It was a little loud on my end because of my monitor. Let me check the chat here. Okay. So that's how you can actually have the screen and the questions read to the different participants, which I think is very handy. You can also check it here with grammar, your text preferences, reading preferences, and so forth. And then when that's done, you can just hit the arrow here to go back. Also, this is what it looked like on a computer. If you hit mobile, this is what it'll look like on your phone. So you can have people filling out surveys as they're walking around campus or wherever they are, they can fill out their form. And then we just go back. Now let's add some more questions. We can add new. We can add a text question. What was your favorite tech shop? You can make it so the question is required. You can make it so that they can maybe put a longer answer if the text box is smaller. That type of thing here. You can have a rating question. How would you can put here. How would you rate the tech shops? You can use the stars. You can change it to just numbers. You can have from 2 to 10. It's really up to you. Go back to the stars. And just like for a movie, if you're going to rate a movie, you could put the 5 stars here. And it looks like it's showing it's required. This one may require, that's why there's a little asterisk there. And let's go ahead and add new. And you can add a date. Let's say you can say, what date did you appear at this tech shop, that type of thing. If you don't really want a date question, you can always just hit delete question. All right, so right now that's our little survey. And you can add more questions as you see fit. Again, this is what our preview would look like. Mobile and your computer. You can also change your theme however you like. These little dots here are where your settings will be located. When we click settings, I guess you can change your language. Also, you can print your form. It's not saving it as a file, but you can print the form itself if you want to print them out to hand out, or you can also save it as a PDF. That way you can save it in a format. You can actually edit then, but that option is there for you. If you do click settings though, it's going to give you lots of different options as to who can actually view the form. Right now, it's only people in the Shepherd community, and it's going to record their name. If you want them to only give one response, you can click this one. If it's only going to be specific people, you can click this area here. Now, if it's just an anonymous survey, you can just click this here, and then anyone can respond. So it's really up to you how you want to do it. You can have it so the dates, it's only going to be accepted at certain times. That if they get an email, but then you have to kind of have it so they give you their email, that type of thing. So that's our settings. Now, how do we get people to actually view this survey? We click on share. We can set it so anyone can respond, or anyone in the organization, just like we had before. Right now, it's set for anyone can respond. So this is the link. We can put it as a QR code. This is what that would look like. People can post it anywhere and that type of thing. They can embed it inside of a web page, or they can just have it in an email. So just right now, we're going to have it as a link, and I just hit copy, and it's copied for me. Just to make sure I always kind of copy myself. All right, so now that I have that, I'm going to go to my other browser, Firefox. And I'm going to paste that URL in here so we can see what it looks like. Now here's our form. So I'm not logged in Office 365, but it's still letting me access it because it's a public form. So let's see, which tech shop did I attend? I did all of them, but I had set so you can only pick one answer. So I'm just going to pick Teams. And my favorite was Teams. And I'm going to rate it at 4 out of 5. Pretty good. And then you hit submit. And my response was submitted. But I did have it set so you could just submit as many times as you like. You might want to change that. It might skew your data, that type of thing. See, I could go in here and I could run it again. Let's submit. So you have to make sure with your settings that it fits the parameters that you want for your particular survey. So now let's go back to Chrome. And look, now we have 2 responses. Let's check out our responses. So first of all, it tells you if your survey is still active, and it is. Didn't take long to fill out at all, and you have 2 responses. This gives you a general overview. I have one person like OneNote, one person like Teams. It gives you a graph. Now with only 2 responses, it's pretty easy to see what it looks like. You can go in more detail here. But when you're done, you can actually view your results this way. You can kind of scroll through this way. Again, this one was anonymous. There was no names present. But something that's very handy is to be able to open in Excel. And depending on how long that'll take, you can download it, that type of thing. It doesn't open right away, but it lets you save it on your computer, and you can check out to see what that looks like. So I'm going to go back to Forms and let you see another one that I have here. Now, this one was created probably in the spring, and it was about our project sites inside of Sakai. I sent this one out to the campus. Since we're moving to Brightspace, do people want to keep their project sites, that type of thing? We had the name of the project, the URLs, and so forth. And we got many responses. And so we had different names of sites. They gave the URLs and so forth. And I was able to go in and check out the different responses and then go to the different websites and save those particular courses that we wanted to keep. I actually opened up in Excel and I had a spreadsheet open on one page and I went to Sakai and I was able to copy those sites over. So it can be very handy in that case. Now I want to show you a different type of form. It's called a quiz. It's very similar, but it has a few unique features. So we're just going to go here and hit create new quiz. And it has the same description here. We'll just call this about midterm. And you can create your icons and your themes and so forth. But just to demonstrate, I'm just going to click add new and show you about your choices here. So you see you have your questions listed here, just like you would in a multiple choice exam. But now it also gives you this option for points. So you can actually use this to grade in a class. Let's see, if we had a question here about state capitals. What is the capital of West Virginia? We have our options here. We have, let's see, Ranson. No. Charleston. Let's add some other options about Shepherdstown. And you see there's a check here, each one. You have to decide what is the correct answer, or there'll be errors in your quiz. So we click this for the correct answer. This even gives a feedback you can give, displaying a message. And the points, we'll give this one 10 points. And we go to our preview to see what that looks like. And it's just a typical quiz here. And if, again, we also have the immersive reader option. Hopefully it won't be as loud this time. We just hit play.
1. What is the capital of WV? 10 points. Ranson. Charleston. Shepherdstown. End of question. Close the reader to input your answer.
So again, this is going to be a good option if you need that immersive reader for particular students, that type of thing. And you can create quizzes here as well. If you want to see what it looks like in the mobile, you can select it there. And we'll go back. Another neat thing you can add is add a section. If you add sections, then you can have multiple pages for your different questions in your survey or if in your quiz. Let's see here. What is the capital? I could spell. Let's see here. Capital of VA. Actually, this is my section. Let's see. Let's call this section section 2. Now we're at a question. And let's see here. We can call this Richmond. And we'll put in Fairfax. But Richmond is the capital, not Fairfax. And this one is worth 10 points as well. So let's see if we hit preview what that looks like. Capital of West Virginia. And then the capital, Richmond. 2 different pages. And if you go to mobile, let's see here. Let me go back here a second. Oh yeah, here we go. You just hit back. Next. So that's a neat way to have your questions. If that's something you want to do, maybe outside of Brightspace for some reason, you want to have those. And one last thing I kind of want to show you about this before we take some questions is, we go back here to, let's see here. Okay. So, this is all part of the Microsoft system, and Forms is all part of the Teams, Office, and so forth. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to drag my team over here so you can see this. This is just a generic team, but it's a class team. It has a class notebook and everything. It even has grades and assignments. But it has this edit quiz tool here. If you hit plus in your team and you just hit Forms, it allows you to create your quiz inside of the team. You can just name it quiz 2. Or you can use an existing form. Right now it's going to create that form. And now it's creating a form right inside there, just like we were doing before in a separate area. But now we can go ahead and we can add our questions, our date ones, our rating. If you wanted to do the Likert scale, that's there as well. Now let's go back here. I want to show you what this looks like. We're going to hit plus again and hit Forms. And we're going to add an existing form, maybe one we've already created. This midterm one. Just hit save. And now this is the one we were working on earlier. So it's a neat way if you use Teams for your classes and way to integrate Forms and create your questions right inside of Teams. Okay, so now I'm going to open it up for some questions and we can kind of look at some of the features if you had any questions.
Hey, Rich, this is Sarah. I do have a couple of questions for you.
Sure.
First of all, this is a $500 question. I'm guessing I can guess the answer. I'm currently running, as we discussed, a survey in Sakai that I do every semester, graduating seniors, et cetera, et cetera. Is it possible for me to import that survey from Sakai straight into Forms, or does it need to be recreated?
I think it would need to be recreated. It's not necessarily, Forms isn't like a file that you can kind of create on its own. You kind of have to put those in manually. When I went through here, I didn't see any type of input feature to import
It
questions.
looks like the two tools are very different, and as such, it might not be straightforward to do an import. Okay,
How many questions are there in the survey?
Geez, 14-ish, I think. So it won't be that bad to do. I should be able to build it. I just didn't know if there was a straightforward way. The second question is, this is a survey that I run for a specific limited group of students, those students who are graduating in that semester over a specific time. I'm trying to figure out what the best way would be to, number one, make sure that it's only those students responding to the survey, and number two, communicate with them via email or something to let them know. Is that something that might perhaps be done best with the Microsoft Teams situation, or is that something I can do straight in Forms?
Well, I'm looking here as you were talking. Who can fill out this form? Hopefully you can still see my screen here.
Yes.
We have anyone can respond.
Yeah, I saw the specific people option. I was curious about that.
I think that's how you can set it up. Specific people my relation can respond. One response per name. Let's see, accept responses. Custom, thank you. So it's set to do that. Now we'll hit share. So now it's looking for specific people in my organization. This is where you would enter those names.
Okay.
So yes, you would have to enter them manually. However, if they're part of our Microsoft system, you could just type the name in. Usually that'll pop up, or even type in their email address. So it wouldn't necessarily, it depends on how many they are. If they're already in a team, then it would be simple as just adding that form to the team.
We're talking up to 400 people.
Okay. Yeah. It's a little trickier.
Yeah.
There is a way. I do have a way in Brightspace to add a lot of people to a Brightspace site. It's not as hard as you would think. And I mean, if you give me the list of names, like in a spreadsheet, I can do it. It takes me a few hours to figure it out exactly. But then you could just put that form in there. So no one would really have access to the form except whoever is in that site, because they're the only ones who have access to that URL. So that's an option. It's technically not, I mean, they could give it to someone if they wanted, but that is an option.
Okay, so basically their access would be controlled through the Brightspace site. They would access the survey and forms that way. Is that how that works?
Yes.
Okay.
They're always technically, you'd have to make it so anyone can access it. However, the only way they could find the URL is to have it inside that Brightspace site. I guess it's a way, it's kind of a risk, but not too much. Does that make sense?
Okay, sure, it
Yeah.
does. Maybe
Okay.
I'll talk with you separately about that then.
Okay, sounds good.
Thanks.
No problem. Any other questions regarding forms here? It's pretty straightforward, and it's a kind of a fun little program to use. It can be pretty quick if you just have a quick survey. I have some other ones I've done. Like I'm actually working on a real tech survey. I'm kind of testing that one out. This is one I was going to share. I'll go ahead and share it just for fun. This is, I'm into the Marvel universe movies and so forth, like Iron Man and so forth. This one lets you pick the one you like the most. It also lets you put them in the order that you want. You can rank your favorite. If you really like Thor, if you really like the Hulk. So you can rate different things. Again, if you want to rate the movie here, who is Peter Parker? Hopefully we know who that is, even though he's trying to hide his identity. But again, that's just something fun you can do for your class. Something you can do for surveys, for more important things, so to speak, for records and everything, type of things. This one will get your name and email address. I could change that in my settings. I think the mobile looks very good. So it's a neat feature to check out. And the immersive reader is very good for accessibility. If people are having vision issues and they can just look at it. That's basically forms in a nutshell.
Rich, I have a quick question about security, and I came in late. My apologies. So
Oh,
I don't know if you already covered this,
No
but
worries.
I just got a subscription to SurveyMonkey.
Okay.
And I also, we run this advisor survey through Campus Labs. And I'd rather have control over the surveying of the advisor survey so that we can go about like recruiting more respondents and all of that. I don't know, what would the advantages be of SurveyMonkey and Campus Labs in terms of, I mean, do they have better security, better ways of protecting confidentiality, as opposed to just creating a survey and sending it out to people?
Well, SurveyMonkey is it's a separate program. I have used it before. They may have, if I recall, it's been a while since I've used SurveyMonkey, but there's different ways you can have different types of questions.
Mhm.
I know, like we used to use it for events, like to choose different options. Like let's say you're going to go on a picnic, and there's certain things that you want everyone to bring. There's certain items you can choose. Those types of questions are there in SurveyMonkey, which are maybe more specific, that might be handier than these types of questions. These are more basic questions, but they're pretty exclusive. You can do lots of different things. This is tied to our Microsoft system. So for example, let's go back to our quiz here. You can set it so, only people inside of your group can look at it. SurveyMonkey, there is a particular link and you can give it out to certain people, but it's kind of out there. Again, here you can make it so only people inside of your organization can respond to it. But if you want it to go out to everyone, that option is available, just to anyone. That option is there.
But you think it's just as safe in terms of protecting respondents' privacy as these more established, I don't know, surveying programs?
I mean, it's all tied inside of our Microsoft system. I guess the question
Okay.
is, yeah, I would think it would be.
Okay. And
Yeah.
then my other question is, once you get all of these responses, can you download the responses in like spreadsheets and all of that?
Definitely.
Okay.
Let me show you that. We did go over that a little bit, and that's no problem. I can show you that
Okay.
again. Let me show you the one that I did for the project sites that we were moving from Sakai to Brightspace. I made a
Mhm.
project site form in the spring. And it was pretty simple. I just kind of describe what we're doing, give us the name of your site, the URL, and so forth. And if you need it or not, any more information we need, that type of thing. And over here is our responses. So when you click on the responses of your site,
Oh, wow.
it gives you how many there were, if the site's still active, the different names. These are just kind of a couple of the different options. But then if you just click view results, you can scroll through each respondent. I had from different professors. I had different sites. They gave me the URL and so forth. You can go in through this way, but let's say you're more used to the regular way. You can click
in
open,
Excel.
Mhm.
Mhm.
and it won't open it up like in Office or Excel open. The online version, that's what I'm trying to say. But it'll save it. You can download it on your computer. That's how I actually used it. I had this spreadsheet open up on one particular monitor, and I had Sakai and Brightspace and so forth open on another. And I was able to distinguish what sites I needed to save, and I moved them over that way. So yeah, this is very handy.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Wish you had done this 2 months ago, and maybe you did, and I just couldn't attend, but thank you.
It's okay. Yeah, actually, we have done these in the past with
Mhm.
forms because it's very handy.
Mhm.
And yeah, so it's you can't have it so everyone can look at it. I mean, from the outside, you can have public sites, but also for Microsoft, it's very handy just inside our system. It depends on how you want to use it and so forth. Just a reference. Let's see, go back to our questions here. There we go. You can add a theme. You can change the background. Spruce it up a little bit. You can add pictures. You can add your own theme, that type of thing. So yeah, you can make it look neat. And then just hit share. You're given a link here that you can share. Right now, it's only people in the organization. Again, you can embed it inside of a website. Lots of different options. You can do a QR code. These are more, I think you can use this maybe for public. You can put it somewhere on campus. Someone can go by, scan it. Oh, there's a quiz to fill out. You can fill out the quiz. This might be a neat thing to do for anything around campus, just to kind of get a notion for how people are doing for certain things, how things are working around campus. You could have these around campus and people could take quizzes. Everyone likes to do a survey, right? Well, some people don't, but yeah, so there's lots of different options.
That's great. Thank you.
Oh, no problem. But if that's all, I can take more questions in an email, or you can always check out this video later on our CTL site. I'm gonna go ahead and sign off for now. Thanks for coming, for everyone, and we'll see you next time.